Today we're going to be talking about my new book, Crystal Grids Power 2, and how it can transform your crystal grid practice. You'll learn what's inside the book and why it's different from book 1, how it can enhance your crystal grids and see if it's right for you. Plus, we'll look at exactly which crystal grids are included in my book. Hi, I'm Ethan Lazzerini and I'm the author of 4 crystal healing books. Can't believe I'm saying that now. I released Crystal Grids Power back in 2017, and it's always actually been my most popular book. I've listened to all the feedback and suggestions from you, the readers, over the years. Many of you asked for a sequel to the book, and you also asked for more information, more depth, and more crystal grids. And crystal grids are one of my favourite ways of working with crystals, and since I published the first book, I have worked with many new sacred geometry shapes and symbols, and I want to share that with you. So in case you're wondering, yes, you do need to read book 1 in the series, as it goes over the foundations and the basic stuff that you need to learn to start making crystal grids. I wrote that book so it could be picked up by a complete beginner or someone with at least some experience of crystal grids. It covers everything that you need to know to start making crystal grids, but without overwhelming you. So Crystal Grids Power took me 4 years to complete, and as you can see, it is a big boy. And so the first book is actually 192 pages, and it was around 31,000 words, whereas book 2, as you can see here, is a lot bigger. So the new book is 360 pages long and almost 77,000 words, about double the information that was contained in book 1. And this is one of the printed drafts I did for editing of the book, and as you can see, it's very thick, and this took a long time through multiple edits, and it needed to be bigger to allow me more in-depth information and to bring new sacred geometry shapes and symbols, and also to give you more choice of crystal grids. Let's look inside together and I'll show you what's new and different in Crystal Grids Power 2. The sacred geometry and symbol sky has 45 different shapes and symbols in there. So unlike book 1, I'm not just focusing more on the geometric shapes and symbols, we're also looking at other types of symbols such as the Ankh, infinity symbol, and even things like moon phases. And one of the things that makes this book different to book 1 is in book 1 we would have the keywords, numerology, and history and symbolism, but in this one we've got a focused keywords section for just quickly understand the energy of the symbol. Then I've given it associations, which is where it might be connected with elements, gods and goddesses, planets, things like that, and energies. Then we've got crystal grid suggestions, so I'll specifically tell you which crystal grids I think this symbol would work with if you're creating your own grids. Numerology as before, and I've got much more information on the history and symbolism and where things are found in different cultures. So we now have a more expanded guide to crystal formations and also carvings. So I've gone in deeper with the meanings of these, and we have a lot of new carvings and shapes and forms that you'll find on the market, and sort of look at how those could add to your grids, what the energies they bring to the grids, the additional meanings to the stones that carving them into a shape will bring. And I've also covered even more here, so there's actually 83 shapes and forms covered in this chapter, because I have these more unusual ones such as acorn, alien, ankh, bat, butterfly, horses, lions. There's different animals. I've gone into keywords around those as well. If you've got something unusual or you see these on the market and you're not really sure how to use them, this will tell you which sorts of grids and types of energies they'll bring to your crystal grids. So next, that brings us to the crystal grids. So this half of the book is literally all the information you'll need with the new information that I'm giving you, and then this half of the book is the actual crystal grids. And in this version we've now got 57 crystal grids that I am sharing with you, and they are in I've put them in 2 categories. So to make things easier for you to find them rather than alphabetical, what I have done is organize them in 2 types of grids by intention. So the different chapters are astrological crystal grids, healing and wellness crystal grids, home and family, life path, love and relationships, manifesting and goal setting, personal growth, career and prosperity, protection, seasonal crystal grids, and spirituality. One of the changes that I've brought in is the information on setting up your grids is now a bit longer. We have a new thing here, which is we've got the suggested crystal shapes and forms. Again, this is just optional. It's if you want to take your grids to another level, include symbolism of shape and form. Like here, I'm suggesting tower, pyramid, skull, flame, bat, snake, wolf, lotus. We now have more substitute or replacement stones for you. So usually there's now about 4, sometimes there's 5 different crystals I will recommend to you. So I'll just show you. Again, we've now got the chakras. I've done each of the chakras. We've seen those on the market, the crystal grid bases, but very few people, and I don't know how many grids actually show, and how many books show you how to actually put these grids together. And yeah, so a lot of new grids for you to have as a source, something you can tap into, something you can go to when you need it. And of course, everything is going to come with those printable crystal grid templates. Let's go through all the crystal grids you're going to get. You can have a full moon crystal grid, a full moon zodiac crystal grid, which is new, and that's going to involve zodiac stones based on the sign that the moon occurs in. So that's a new thing. And Lionsgate crystal grid, Mercury retrograde support grid, a new moon grid, and a new moon zodiac grid, solar return crystal grid, which is your astrological birthday, anxiety relief, chakra crystal grids 1 through 7. We've got a distant all chakra grid, a distant healing grid, fertility crystal grid, grief support crystal grid, find a new home crystal grid, peace and calm, peaceful home, sell your home, life changes, live your life purpose, reveal the truth, study and learning, heartbreak healing, leave a toxic relationship, let go of your ex, love and romance, relationship harmony, self-love. We've also got gratitude, manifesting, new year intentions, a road opener, which is to bring in opportunities and clear your path, forgiveness crystal grid, personal empowerment, release limiting beliefs, release the past, find a new job, grow your business, money management, prosperity and success, Archangel Michael, evil eye protection from bullies. I've got the 4 seasons as a crystal grid now, so you've got spring, summer, autumn and winter crystal grids. We've also got blessing, charging, cleansing, grounding and transmuting. As with book 1, I'll give you a downloadable file, which is a PDF containing all the crystal grid templates that you need to make the grids in the book. And of course, as I say in the book, you don't really need these. It's just an option. It's a lot easier and cheaper these instead of buying a crystal grid base, but I still recommend you invest in at least a few of them. There's some unusual shapes and forms here you probably won't find anywhere. You've got all the chakras, you've got the seasonal grids, you've got lots of things here if you want to use them. And one thing I recommend you do if you want these to look a bit better is to use a gold or silver pen, and you can go over them if that's something you want to do. It's a place to start. You don't need any crystal grid base to create a crystal grid in most cases. You can just make your crystal grids straight onto a flat surface if you need to. So this is new as well. So at the back of the book we've got this crystal properties and geometry directory to help you create your own crystal grids quicker. So to do so, I have put things such as abundance, prosperity, ancestors, angels. So I go by intention, then I'll tell you which sacred geometry symbols I think would work best for these types of grids. And I'll give you a whole list of crystals that you could use as well. Use that to create your own crystal grids and to come up with even more alternative crystals or different geometries to make your grids from. This book goes deeper than book 1. I used about 27 different books for reference and research, which are all listed in the back of the book. Crystal Grids Power 2 is a more holistic approach to crystal grids. You'll be exploring more crystal grid history and origins, and we'll be looking at the earliest example that I can find of a crystal grid mentioned in a book. So that's going to be interesting for some of you who want to know more. We've got energies here, looking at energy fields and how the dynamics of a crystal grid works. What's the metaphysical kind of science, if you like, behind it? Another thing we get into is astrological time and working things such as solstice, equinoxes, the phases of the moon, how they affect it, different moons in different signs. I'm going to get into those, which ones would suit different types of grids. I've also developed a new conscious connection crystal grid activation method, and there are free versions of that in the book if you want to try that. You'll learn lots about creating a sacred space for your crystal grids, the pros and cons of different types of crystal grid bases. That's a question I get a lot, so I go into that as well. And also it contains a directory of intention-based incenses and oils that you can use to enhance your experience, to add extra energy from nature to your activations of your crystal grids. And there's a whole chapter on manifesting and positive mindset tips and techniques. The book is packed with tools and tips to enhance your crystal grids and amplify your intentions. And if you're watching this video during launch month, then I have reduced the price of the paperback and the ebook version of the book for a very limited time. And the easiest place to order my books and to get a reduced price at the moment is on Amazon, and I've included links below for you to be able to do that. And I can't wait to see what you guys think to this new book. And if you found this video to be helpful or informative, then please could you give it a thumbs up, and that just helps others find this video so they can benefit too. Thank you. And remember to subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And if you're new to me and my work, I have more videos on my channel about crystals, sacred geometry, and crystal grids that you might be interested in. Those videos will be appearing on screen now.